What did you make of your offense's work out there today?
It was good work. Went back and forth. Defense did a good job coming with some turnovers there in the 2-minute drill. But I like the work on both sides.
You dropped passes. Is that anything to concern you at this point, or did you see it that way?
Yeah, we got to change everybody.
Yeah.
That drops today. Yeah. Don't want them to drop it. A few had some drops today. I think a couple were contested, got them out too, but it wasn't clean there at the end.
Will Nick be the primary guy with the first team in 11-on-11 tomorrow? Are you still going back and forth between?
Yeah, we're still nothing's changed, and we'll do that going into training camp. So I didn't even notice who was up today.
It was CJ.
It was. Then Nick will probably be tomorrow.
Okay.
I think that's the rotation we've been doing. But you'll remind me because I'm not as on top of it. They're even, I know that.
Okay.
So we just mix it up continuously.
What did you think of CJ's practice today?
From what I saw out there, I thought he did a good job. CJ's had a real good camp. He's been playing real well. So has Nick. So I've been excited about both of them.
When you look at that competition, I mean, has it started, or do you really open your eyes in training camp to start that evaluation process?
I know both of them so well because we've been here 2 years with them. So we've gotten a chance now to see both of them in practice and both of them in games. So I don't think it really starts until you get to training camp. They've both been doing a real good job, both playing at a high level. So that's been exciting. But to sit there and really stress over from a coaching standpoint of trying to make the decision, we're not there yet because a lot could change, and these guys have both proven that they can play in this league, and we're going to have to make a tough decision at the end of preseason which one we want to give that number 2 job to, because you don't get to compete much during the season. There's not enough reps or scout team and things like that, so you hope Jimmy stays healthy, so it's irrelevant who's the number 2 guy, but the number 2 guy does get a lot more reps in practice and stuff, so that's going to be very important for them.
Robert Saleh said a couple of weeks ago that he thought Kwon Alexander might be back for training camp. Have you guys, obviously you don't have a concrete plan right now, but is that the idea for him and for Garrett to start getting eased in?
Yeah, that's the idea. Come back from vacation and get their physicals, and we'll test them out and hope the doctors clear them, and if they do, they'll be full go. We'll obviously take care of them and have a plan with them coming back from an injury like that. But the goal is to hope they're ready by the first day of camp. But if there's any hesitation at all, then we have no problem being patient with that and wait until they are ready.
Is that team-wide? It seems like a lot of guys were missing in the spring, but none of those.
Yeah, pretty much team-wide. Everyone we're really hoping for that first day we can get them back. That's why I joked with you guys at the beginning. We're having a really bad OTAs in terms of guys not being healthy for it, but we've had so many healthy OTAs since we've been here. We're hoping it's the opposite for training camp.
One last one. McGlinchey didn't practice today. What's going on?
Yeah, we had this planned all along. He needed to get a PRP on his knee, so we just wanted to do it before camp, and we thought this would give him enough time to recover and heal the right way, and something we've been planning on doing for a while. We just want to do it at the best time.
Does Deebo Samuel have an injury?
Yeah, he does. That's why he's not out there.
What is it?
He has a tweaked, is it groin? I think it's a tweaked groin.
Okay.
Is that it?
That's it.
Man,
Thank you.
Tough. Any others?
He had a what on his knee?
Groin, tweaked groin?
Oh,
A PRP?
PRP?
Yeah.
What's that?
It just went above my expertise. What did you say?
All right.
Some of the guys do a lot,
Okay.
and it's minor. But you got to stay off your knee for like 3 weeks after you do it. But so now's the time to do it leading up to camp.
I was hoping to ask about Coach Benton, your offensive line coach. How far does your relationship with him go? What was that? Did you coach with him in Houston?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
When I got to Houston, I was a receiver coach 1 year when he was O-line coach. Actually, Mike Sherman was O-line coach. When Mike Sherman became coordinator, Ben became the O-line coach. I was a quarterback coach that first year, and then the next 2 years I was coordinator. Ben was the O-line coach there.
When you were assembling your staff here, what about Coach Benton made you want to bring him?
It's always good when you've worked with someone, because you can have relationships with people, whether you like people or not, but you really never know until you work with someone for at least a year. And to be in that building with them for 4 years and to go through a bunch of stuff, me especially as a first-year coordinator and things like that, John was a guy I relied on a lot and had to have a lot of discussions with on what we wanted to do protection-wise and things like that. And then I've just kept in touch with him over the years, and he's been a number of other places, but he's always one of the better line coaches in this league. And when we had a chance to get him after our season in Atlanta, I didn't hesitate.
with Bosa being out since early in OTAs, what guys on the edge have impressed you in his place?
Really all our guys. Like we've had our group on the D line has been real good. You know, those guys. I mean, D Ford obviously coming out there, just his get off from the beginning. It's been tough, especially to block when you don't have pads on and things like that. And they can't get too close to the quarterback, which is always frustrating for them. The guys inside have done real good. Ronald Blair stepped it up as he always does, but I'd say every single guy on our roster looks like they have more experience. They look in better shape. When we're talking about the D-line, I think they all look bigger, stronger, and faster, and I think they all look extremely comfortable in what we're doing. So they've been very tough to go against these OTAs.
Do you get the sense that those guys have kind of embraced the expectations? That, I mean, you guys have invested a lot of resources in that. Do you get the sense they've embraced that?
Yeah, definitely, and I mean they should because you know we have invested a lot of resources since we have been here and before we got here. So there is some talent there. I think that they know they're talented too, and I think they're getting a lot of confidence also. I think they believe in what they're doing. They see that they got a lot of strength on the outside and on the inside, and guys know that. You can't fool each other, and they see the talent next to them, which they know they have to compete to get on that field, and they know they got some good guys next to them that can make their job easier.
From last season heading into this year, what was on your to-do list for Dante Pettis to get himself ready for his second season?
I was hoping going through, it's sometimes, especially receivers, it takes a while going through that rookie year, just the difference in how to run routes and how to be on it every single play. You know, the college game is a lot different. It's a lot more spread out. There's a lot more bubbles and things like that. The routes are a lot sloppier. There's not as much man-to-man and stuff. So it takes a while to get used to that. And Pettis went through a lot of ups and downs throughout the year, especially with the injuries he battled. And he finished very good. And I was just hoping that with the way he finished, he would learn and come back even hungrier and know that he had to do some other stuff differently. And for him to get away from us for a few months, I was always texting with him, telling him, and he always says the right things, but you never really know. And when I saw him like the first week he got back, to see the size that he had put on, not that he's going to be real noticeably different to everyone, but he worked while he was gone. He worked while he was away. He tried to get bigger. He worked more at his routes, and he came here with the idea of, hey, I'm not just coming here to get better, back in shape. I'm coming here to get better. And so when he came back, he was in such good shape that since he's been here over these last 2 months, he's gotten better in every area. He did have a little setback. I think he tweaked his hamstring a few weeks ago. He battled through that. Now he's leaving. Hopefully, one more practice, he can leave healthy and have another good month where he keeps getting better and has no setbacks with tissue injuries.
What form of coaching does he respond better to, the kick in the butt or the pat on the back?
A little bit of both. I mean, Dante is extremely smart, so you just need to know what you're talking about when you talk to him. I mean, it's okay to give a kick in the butt as long as you're saying something that makes sense. I mean, you got to make sense to Dante. He's going to think about it. He wants to do what's right, and he wants to do what works. If you just yell at him to yell at him, like, he's going to be respectful, but that's probably not going to make him better. You got to really teach him and show him, and he's a guy who wants to think about it, and he is a laid-back guy, which I think can be his biggest strength because a lot doesn't get to him. But every time when he's a little too laid back, then you might need to kick him in the butt just a little bit because a lot of things come easy to Dante. I want him sometimes a little more stressed out, but it's kind of cool that he's not because he's a talented dude and he hasn't had to be that stressed out, but we're trying to get the most out of him, and we see that happening.
Kind of in that same grain, Trent Taylor obviously didn't meet his own expectations last year. He feels better, faster. It looks like that connection with Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of rekindled.
Yeah, well, I mean, Trent, it was so hard for Trent last year just because he was battling the back thing all last offseason, so he missed a whole offseason of working out, which is a huge deal. I mean, the same thing that happened to Sherm last year. And Trent spent his whole time away healthy. He had no setbacks with his back, so we could see the first day he got back here when he ran routes that he was feeling better. And each day he's been able to stack those days up of trying to get better, not just trying to get his back to feel better. And now Trent's right back to where we expect him to be after his rookie year. You know, he had a good rookie year, but we expected him to come back better. We still thought he needed to improve in a number of ways after his rookie year. And when he came back, he just came back hurt. So that was tough, and he took a step back. We expect him to get back to his rookie year, and we expect him to be better. And he's on his way to doing that right now.
You got Jimmy some reps behind an offensive line. There were no pass rushers there, obviously, but is that a significant landmark in his comeback and his workload this offseason? When did you decide to implement?
That was just because we did 2 minute for the first time today, and he hasn't been cleared by the doctors to be out there with the defensive line rushing him. So that's why all he did was 7-on-7 for the 8 OTAs we had, which I think it was like 163 reps. So he got a lot of 7-on-7. Today we wanted to do 2-minute, and so instead of making it an entire 7-on-7 2-minute period, just so Jimmy could get in there, we let the whole team do it. And when Jimmy's reps got up, we just didn't have a pass rush, just so the O-line could hear it and go. It's not all competing there. There's a lot of scheme and stuff that goes into them, hearing the calls and stuff like that. So we wanted to get live action with him.
One more receiver question with Marquise. Is this a different plan this year than the previous 2 seasons with him? Are you going in with a different idea of who he will be in 2019?
No, I think we always have a pretty good idea of who Keese will be and what he can do. The benefit this year is that there's other people to take some pressure off. You know, Keese, since we've gotten him here, he's had to play a lot more than you would like. He's had to do some routes a lot more than you would like. You know, he's capable of doing it all. But you like to put people on what they're best at and things like that. And we haven't had the necessary depth here in some players to take off that. And that's what we tried to do more this offseason. And so we tried to do last offseason. So we drafted a receiver 2 years in a row in the second round, and hoping that can take some of the pressure off of Keith.
What have you seen from him? I mean, he had a nice day-to-day, it seemed like.
Keith looks good all the time in the off season because he's healthy, he can run, and he's extremely hard to cover. And when Keith is like that, he plays at a very high level. And I think Keith has been in a good spot. He's been great here in his 3rd year, being around the guys, having a lot more youth in that room too. He's been great with the new coaches, and I think Keith and us, we're just hoping that we can keep this going and keep him healthy. And I think it'll be easier to do that with some of the other guys that we brought in.
What's the plan with Jalen Hurd when you get him back healthy? There's been a lot of discussion about him having a bunch of different roles. Are you going to ease him into one thing in particular and then expand him from there? Or are you putting a lot on his plate?
No, he's got to show that he can play one position first. You know, he hasn't been out there, and he's got to make this team as a receiver first. So there's other guys he's got to beat out, and once he shows he can learn the offense and that he's better than other people at certain things, then you'll give him that. But just because someone's built that way doesn't mean that they get it. He's got to be better than people, and he's got a long way to go until he proves that.
Is it going to be all 3 receiver spots, or is it going to be mostly F? Or how do you plan it?
It's all different because all 3 of those positions we can move anywhere we want. So, we'll probably play him at Z and F. But if we motion the tight end, then it looks like he's X, but he's still Z or F. So it's all the same.
Couple more? Is Celek still in the concussion protocol?
He is, but he can't get tested to get out of it yet. He can't until we put pads on and stuff like that. Since he missed his last protocol test, you can't do it again until like a certain month period. And we can't do that till training camp. However, that's irrelevant right now because he had his back surgery and he's going to be out for some time with that. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know, but I'm more worried about him coming back from the back. That's going to be a little bit longer.
How long is that recovery?
I want to say like 2 months.
2 months from today, he'll be ready, possibly?
I don't know. I'm guessing. It's a serious surgery dealing with the back. Some stuff that Trent went through last year and some stuff that Celek went through before we got here. I think like 5 years ago he had a surgery like this on his back. I want to say then it was during the season. I think I was told 6 to 8 weeks, and he's having something similar right now.
Kyle, this is a random question. I apologize for that. But going back to your very first coaching job at UCLA, is there 1 or 2 things that you took from that experience that helped you get where you are now?
I try to take everything from every experience. Back then I was right out of college, so everything I wanted to show, I would put cleats on and try to demonstrate it. You know, you're still wanting to play. And it's neat because you're close to in age with all those guys, so you can relate with them a lot more. But you're learning so much more, so you can help bring stuff to the table to them that you don't always have that connection as you get a lot older. But I also didn't know as much then. You know, I was a GA and was just getting into it. But I think you start to realize when you can help people and teach them stuff and you can answer questions that help people, it doesn't matter whether you're a GA, a head coach, a quality control, a coordinator, or whether you're talking to a walk-on or Maurice Jones-Drew or Mercedes Lewis. If you can say something that helps people and that makes sense to them, they will respect you and listen to you. And that's why I don't think appearance or age or whatever matters. It's if you know what you're talking about. That's why I don't think you have to be a guy who MFs people if you know what you're talking about. And I don't know, I feel like I've always taken that from a young age and tried to be consistent with that.
Your update on Robbie Golden, if not, I think there was some talk, or at least speculation that he might walk in here, a couple days before the week one. If so, are you comfortable kind of with that plan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I'd much rather Robbie be here and doing everything. We love having him around, and but I understand how he feels and what's going on, and if that's the way he would like to do it, no problem with that at all. We'd always rather it be perfect the way we want it, but if he doesn't want to show up till week one, it is what it is. I'll take a very good kicker at any time, whether it's week one or on third down, just one play before we're about to have to kick. So Robbie's a hell of a kicker, and nothing's really changed on that. I just really hope that he shows up by the time we play week one.
He hasn't practiced in a while, but what have your impressions been of Nick Bosa, and just how is he absorbing what he can absorb at this point in the process?
For not being out there very much, I've been very impressed. I mean, he's been one of the guys. He's not too loud, doesn't try to stand out, but also doesn't sit there and hide in the corner. He's one of the guys. I think he's fit in very well. I think he's very attentive in his meetings. I think he enjoys football. He's not a guy who's falling asleep in the meetings just because he can't practice that day. He enjoys watching it. He enjoys watching other people and learning from other people, and he's handled himself great so far.
Is just the nature of that position something where maybe it's easier for him to pick it up after not practicing, as opposed to something like receiver where so much is predicated on timing and chemistry?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there's not as many variables that go into it, and you got to beat the guy in front of you. And if you don't know what you're doing, but you beat the guy in front of you every single time, you're going to be all right. Where there's more to that at another position. But, I mean, everybody wants to be out there and get reps. That's what you need to get better. But we'll get him healthy, and it'll make him hopefully better for him to get reps in training camp.
Did Tyree Mayfield have an issue with the heat today? Did you get any word on him?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys.